In the fascinating world of coin collecting, few coins have managed to capture the attention of collectors and investors quite like the 1994 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. What might look like an ordinary penny to most people is, in fact, one of the most surprising and valuable modern coins in circulation today. Believe it or not, some rare examples of this coin have been sold for staggering amounts, with the current market value reaching an incredible $82,937. So, if you have a jar full of pennies lying around or some spare change hidden away, you might be holding a small fortune without even realizing it. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1994 Lincoln penny. We'll explore how this coin came to be, what makes certain versions so valuable, the history of its design, and how you can identify one of these rare pieces that could completely change your life. Let's begin with a bit of background. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, has become the longest-running coin design in United States history. Over the decades, it has undergone several changes, but its legacy as a symbol of the American spirit remains strong. By 1994, the Lincoln penny had already been circulating for 85 years, and the Denver Mint was one of the main facilities producing these coins, identified by the small D mint mark under the date on the obverse side. Now, here's where things get interesting. Although billions of 1994 pennies were produced, not all of them are equal. Most are worth just 1 cent, of course, but a very small number were struck with errors or under special conditions that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. Some of these coins were struck on different planchets, had doubled dies, or showed unusual minting characteristics that turned them into prized possessions in the numismatic world. To understand why some 1994 pennies are worth thousands, it's important to know how errors occur during the minting process. Every coin goes through a precise and automated system, but even the most advanced machines can make mistakes. When dies strike the coin off-center, or when there's a misalignment, the results can vary, sometimes creating a truly unique piece. These minting errors are like fingerprints. No two are ever exactly the same, and that's what makes them so special. Collectors look for several key varieties of the 1994 Lincoln penny that can dramatically raise its value. One of the most desirable types is the doubled die variety, where the image or the lettering appears to be slightly doubled due to a die misalignment during the minting process. When this doubling occurs on the obverse side, especially on Lincoln's eye, lips, or the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust, the coin's value can skyrocket. Another major factor that influences a coin's worth is its condition, known in the coin collecting world as its grade. The grading scale, established by the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) and the Numismatic Guarantee Company (NGC), ranges from Pro 1 to Mint State 70. A 1994 penny in average circulated condition might be worth only a few cents, but if yours is in mint state condition, with a bright, original red copper luster and no visible marks, it could be worth thousands. The finest known examples graded MS-68 or higher have fetched prices nearing $83,000 in auctions, making this humble coin a hidden treasure. Let's talk about how to identify if your 1994 penny could be valuable. Start by carefully examining the date and mint mark under good lighting. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to look closely for any doubling in the letters or numbers. Next, inspect the color and surface of the coin. If it has a bright, red luster and appears nearly flawless, that's a great sign. Be cautious not to clean the coin, as cleaning can drastically reduce its value. Collectors prefer coins that have their original surfaces, even if they have minor discoloration. Another factor to watch for is strike quality. The Denver Mint typically produced well-struck coins, but occasionally, weak strikes occurred, especially near the edges of the coin. A weakly struck penny might show less detail in Lincoln's hair or the lettering, and while this can sometimes decrease value, unique weak strikes caused by specific die conditions can actually become collectible. Now, you might be wondering how a 1-cent coin from the 1990s can be worth tens of thousands of dollars today. The answer lies in rarity, condition, and collector demand. The 1994 penny in mint state red condition is extremely scarce. Most pennies from that era have been heavily circulated, meaning they've been scratched, worn down, and discolored from years of use. Finding one that has survived for over 30 years in pristine condition is a challenge, and that's what drives its value into the tens of thousands. In fact, at major coin auctions, collectors compete fiercely for coins that combine high grade and visual appeal. One such 1994 D Lincoln penny graded MS68 red was sold for an astounding $82,937. This price shocked many in the numismatic community, proving that even modern coins can be as valuable as historical gold pieces if the right conditions are met. The Lincoln Cents design also plays a role in its charm. The obverse, featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, remains one of the most beloved designs in American coinage. The reverse design in 1994 still displayed the Lincoln Memorial, which was first introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely at the back of the coin, you can even see a tiny image of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial, a small detail that showcases the precision of American engraving. When it comes to materials, the 1994 D Lincoln penny was made of copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. This composition replaced the nearly pure copper pennies of earlier years due to rising metal costs. While these newer pennies might not have the same intrinsic metal value, their rarity and pristine condition still makes them highly collectible. Now, let's touch on some tips for preserving and storing valuable pennies. If you think you have a rare or high-grade 1994 D penny, never handle it with bare fingers. The oils from your skin can leave permanent marks on the surface. Instead, use cotton gloves or hold the coin by its edges. Store it in an acid-free coin flip or an airtight capsule to protect it from air and moisture. Proper storage can preserve the coin's brilliant red color, which is crucial for maintaining its top-tier grade and value. For those looking to sell or appraise their coins, it's important to get a professional evaluation. Services like PCGS and NGC offer expert grading and encapsulation, also known as slabbing, which certifies the coin's authenticity and condition. Coins that are professionally graded often sell for much higher prices than ungraded ones because buyers trust the certification. It's also fascinating to think about the historical context of the 1994 D Lincoln penny. The early 1990s were a transitional period for the U.S. Mint, as they were improving coin production technologies and refining quality control processes. Yet, even with modern equipment, errors and variations still occurred, which now provide collectors with an exciting array of valuable pieces to hunt for. If you happen to find a 1994 D penny in your possession, take a moment to appreciate its journey. It could have been part of everyday transactions decades ago, buying a soda, a newspaper, or a pack of gum, only to now be recognized as a rare and precious collector's item. That's part of what makes coin collecting so fascinating. It connects history, art, and everyday life in a single, tangible object. As more people become aware of the value hidden in their loose change, the market for rare pennies continues to grow. Every year, stories surface about ordinary people discovering rare coins worth small fortunes, sometimes right in their own homes. The 1994 D Lincoln penny is one of those coins that remind us to look a little closer before dismissing something as ordinary. The next time you're sorting through coins or paying with cash, take an extra second to check the date and mint mark on each penny. Who knows, you might spot that tiny D under the year 1994 and realize you're holding something extraordinary. In conclusion, the 1994 D Lincoln 1-cent penny stands as a shining example of how modern coins can carry incredible value. Its rarity and high-grade condition, combined with the historical and artistic significance of the Lincoln Cent series, makes it a true gem among American coins. With a current market value reaching up to $82,937, this coin proves that even the smallest piece of change can hold immense worth. In this video, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins ever minted in the United States, the 1974 S-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. You might think a simple penny couldn't possibly be worth much, but you'll be surprised to learn that this particular coin has shocked collectors, historians, and investors around the world with its extraordinary rarity, incredible minting story, and its jaw-dropping market value of $78,000. Yes, that's right, a 1-cent coin, worth up to $78,000 today. So make sure you watch this video till the very end, because what you're about to learn could literally make you look at your pocket change in a whole new way. Let's start by going back in time to understand the history behind the 1974 Lincoln penny. The year 1974 was an interesting one for the U.S. Mint. It was a time of economic challenges and material experimentation. The United States Mint had been exploring ways to reduce coin production costs because the price of copper was climbing rapidly. Each penny was made primarily of copper, and when copper prices increased, it cost nearly as much to make the penny as the coin's face value itself. So, the Mint began experimenting with different metal compositions, including aluminum and bronze, to find a cheaper yet durable material for producing pennies. During this period, pennies were minted at 3 major facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The San Francisco Mint, identified by the S Mint mark, was primarily focused on creating proof coins, high-quality strikes meant for collectors, not for general circulation. These proof coins were struck multiple times under controlled conditions, giving them a mirror-like finish and sharp detail that made them stand out from regular coins. However, the 1974 penny isn't just special because it came from the San Francisco Mint, it's special because of its composition, striking quality, and the rare variations that make certain examples extremely valuable today. Now, let's talk about the metal composition. Most 1974 pennies were made of a 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy. However, during the experimental phase, a small number of test coins were produced using aluminum. These aluminum pennies were never officially released into circulation, and most of them were supposed to be destroyed. But a few somehow survived, and when discovered, they became incredibly sought after. The 1974 aluminum penny has been a source of great mystery and legal battles between collectors and the U.S. government. While the official stance of the Mint is that these coins were never meant for public ownership, the surviving examples that exist today are among the most talked about and valuable coins in U.S. history. When it comes to the 1974 Lincoln penny made of copper, collectors pay close attention to several factors: condition, mint mark, and errors. A standard proof 1974 penny in pristine condition might sell for a few dollars, but when you start getting into the ultra-rare varieties or coins with unique errors, the price can skyrocket. Some coins show doubling on the date or lettering, known as a double die error. Others may have unusual die cracks, missing mint marks, or proof strikes that were mistakenly made on business strike planchets. These kinds of anomalies make the 1974 penny not just a coin but a collector's dream. Now, let's discuss how a 1974 Lincoln penny could reach a market value of $78,000. That level of value usually applies to coins that are in perfect proof condition, graded PR 70 by the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Company. These grading organizations evaluate coins based on luster, surface preservation, strike quality, and overall eye appeal. The closer a coin is to perfect condition, the higher its grade, and the higher its market value. A flawless 1974 penny with deep cameo contrast and no visible imperfections can easily fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. In one notable case, collectors competed fiercely for such a coin, driving its price to nearly $78,000, setting a record for that year and mint mark combination. But why would someone pay so much for a penny? The answer lies in the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins. Coin collectors don't just see pennies as pieces of metal, they see them as pieces of history, art, and legacy. The 1974 Lincoln penny represents an era of transition, innovation, and experimentation at the U.S. Mint. It reflects the nation's economic challenges, technological advancements in minting, and the enduring symbolism of Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait has graced the penny since 1909. Speaking of Lincoln, the obverse design of the 1974 penny features his bust, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has remained largely unchanged for decades, serving as a tribute to the 16th President of the United States. On the reverse, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This design was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, replacing the earlier wheat ears design. What makes the proof strike of the 1974 penny so remarkable is the mirror-like shine on the fields and the frosted, sharp details on Lincoln's bust and the lettering. When examined under light, the contrast between the two finishes gives the coin a stunning, almost three-dimensional appearance that collectors love. It's also important to understand that the value of the 1974 penny depends heavily on how well it has been preserved. Coins that have never been handled, scratched, or exposed to air for long periods maintain their original luster. Proof coins stored carefully in their original mint packaging are far more valuable than those that have been removed and touched. Even a single fingerprint can reduce a coin's grade and market value significantly. Now, let's talk about varieties and errors that make certain 1974 pennies unique. One of the most popular varieties is the 1974 double die obverse. On this coin, you can see doubling on the date, or the lettering in the words, Liberty, or In God We Trust. These doubling effects occur when the die used to strike the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process. Another variety includes repunched mint marks, where the S appears to have been stamped more than once. Such small but fascinating differences can make a massive impact on a coin's rarity and value. Some 1974 proof pennies also exhibit cameo or deep cameo finishes. A cameo proof has frosted raised designs and mirror-like backgrounds, while a deep cameo has an even stronger contrast. Deep cameo proofs are especially rare and highly desirable. Coins with this kind of finish can sell for thousands of dollars, even without any major errors. For anyone interested in collecting or investing in Lincoln pennies, it's crucial to know how to identify and preserve valuable coins. Always handle coins by their edges and avoid cleaning them, as improper cleaning can ruin their surfaces and dramatically decrease their value. Store them in airtight holders or capsules designed for proof coins. Keeping them in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight also helps prevent oxidation or discoloration. Now, let's explore the market trends for the 1974 Lincoln penny. Over the past few decades, demand for rare Lincoln pennies has skyrocketed. Collectors all around the world continue to chase the best examples, especially proof strikes from the San Francisco Mint. With the combination of historical significance, scarcity, and immaculate condition, prices for these coins continue to climb. Many numismatists consider high-grade 1974 pennies a smart long-term investment. Auction records show that coins with exceptional grades or unique errors consistently sell for premium prices. For example, proof 1974 pennies graded PR70 Deep Cameo by PCGS or NGC have fetched anywhere from $10,000 to $78,000, depending on market demand and the intensity of bidding. These coins often appear in prestigious coin auctions and are showcased as highlight pieces in major collections. Another interesting aspect is how the 1974 penny connects to the broader history of the Lincoln Cent series. The 1970s represented a period of change for U.S. coinage, both in design and material composition. The Mint was modernizing its production facilities, experimenting with new alloys, and improving proof quality for collectors. The 1974 penny stands as a symbol of that progress, a bridge between the classic copper cents of the past and the modern zinc-based coins that would emerge just a decade later in 1982. If you're lucky enough to find a 1974 penny in your collection, take a close look at it. Check for its mirror finish, inspect the mint mark carefully, and see if there are any signs of doubling or other unusual features. If you believe your coin might be special, consider getting it professionally graded. The cost of grading is often worth it, as certified coins usually sell for much more than ungraded ones. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today's video is one you won't want to miss, because we're diving deep into the story of one of the most surprising and valuable modern Lincoln pennies ever discovered, the 2001 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coin. Believe it or not, this small copper-plated zinc penny, which most people overlook in their everyday change, has shocked the coin collecting world with a current market value reaching as high as $82,938. Yes, you heard that right. Over $82,000 for a single penny that might be sitting in your pocket, coin jar, or old collection right now. Now, before we explore what makes this coin so special and valuable, let's take a step back and understand the background of the 2001 D Lincoln penny. The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, one of the main U.S. mints responsible for producing billions of coins each year. In 2001, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies, all with the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. To the naked eye, most of these coins look completely ordinary, but a few rare examples have incredible errors or unique qualities that make them worth thousands and, in this case, tens of thousands of dollars. The design itself traces back to 1959, when the U.S. Mint replaced the original wheat ears reverse design with the Lincoln Memorial design to mark the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse, showing Lincoln's portrait designed by Victor David Brenner, remained the same. This design stayed in circulation until 2008, making the 2001 D Lincoln penny part of the later Lincoln Memorial series, and among the last decades of these iconic coins. But what makes this 2001 D penny so extraordinary isn't just its age or design, it's the combination of minting anomalies, die varieties, and preserved condition that have driven collectors to pay record-breaking prices. Now, let's talk about the most important part: the value and the reasons why some 2001 D pennies are worth thousands while others are just worth 1 cent. When we look at coin values, several key factors come into play: condition, rarity, mint errors, die varieties, and collector demand. In the case of the 2001 D Lincoln penny, the most valuable examples have been found with extremely rare minting errors and in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, often graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. Let's start with condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, known as the Sheldon scale. A coin graded MS-70 means it's in perfect mint state, showing no scratches, no marks, and full original luster. Even one small imperfection can drop the grade and the value significantly. So, a 2001 D penny graded MS-67, MS-68, or especially MS-69 can already fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But when that high grade is combined with a minting error or die anomaly, that's when the price skyrockets into the tens of thousands. Some of the known valuable varieties and errors in the 2001 D Lincoln penny series include off-center strikes, double die obverse, die cracks, clipped planchets, and broad strikes. Let's take a closer look at each of these. An off-center strike happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned between the dies during striking, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. Depending on how off-center it is, and if the date is still visible, such errors can sell for hundreds to even a few $1,000s. Next, there's the double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been impressed twice with a slight shift between impressions, resulting in visible doubling on letters, numbers, or other details. On the 2001 D penny, collectors have reported examples showing doubling on the date, the word Liberty, or on I in God We Trust. These are extremely collectible and valuable, especially in uncirculated condition. Some double die examples from this year have fetched over $10,000 at auction. Die cracks and die chips are also fascinating. These happen when the die used to strike the coins develops small fractures or chips, leading to raised lines or blobs of metal appearing on the coin's surface. While minor die cracks don't usually bring massive premiums, larger and more dramatic examples, especially those that make the coin's design look unusual or artistic, can attract serious attention from collectors and investors. Another type of rare and valuable 2001 D penny is the clipped planchet. This error happens when the coin blank is cut improperly, resulting in a coin with a curved or straight clip missing from the edge. These are visually striking and very collectible. Depending on the degree of clipping, such coins can sell for several $100s or more. And then there's the broad strike error, a coin struck without the collar that normally keeps it in shape, causing it to spread out and appear wider and flatter than normal. A 2001D broad strike penny can also command hundreds of dollars. Now, here's where things get truly exciting. In recent years, a few 2001D Lincoln pennies in nearly flawless mint state condition, combined with rare striking errors, have sold at major auctions for astonishing amounts. The record holder among them reached a jaw-dropping $82,938. This particular coin was not only in extraordinary condition but also featured a unique minting flaw that made it one of a kind. Serious collectors are willing to pay incredible sums for coins that represent rare combinations of condition, rarity, and historical importance. Imagine finding one of these in your change or coin collection. It's like winning the lottery. And the truth is, it's still possible. Because the 2001D pennies were minted in massive quantities, many are still in circulation or tucked away in jars, drawers, or rolls. That means there's always a chance you could come across one of these rare varieties or high-grade examples without even realizing it. Let's talk about how to identify a valuable 2001D penny. Start by checking the mint mark. You'll find the small d just below the date on the front of the coin, on the right-hand side of Lincoln's portrait. Then, carefully inspect the coin under a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe for any signs of doubling, cracks, or clipping. Pay attention to the details around the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date. If you see any unusual markings or design distortions, you may have a rare error penny on your hands. Also, check the overall condition. Does your penny still have its original shine? Are there no major scratches or dents? Is the color bright and even? If so, it might be worth submitting to a grading service. A professional grading can significantly increase your coin's market value by confirming its authenticity and condition. Remember that even a small difference in grade can mean a massive difference in price. For instance, a 2001D penny graded MS65 might sell for $25, but an MS69 could sell for thousands. Collectors and investors often focus on high-grade examples because they represent the very best preserved coins from a particular year and mint. Over time, as more coins circulate and get damaged, the number of pristine examples goes down, driving up demand and prices for the few that remain in perfect condition. That's one of the main reasons this 2001D Lincoln penny has reached such a stunning market value today. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the artistry and symbolism behind the coin itself. The obverse side features the famous image of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's portrait first appeared on the penny in 1909 to commemorate his 100th birthday. Over a century later, it remains one of the most recognizable designs in U.S. coinage history. The reverse side of the 2001D penny displays the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, showing the statue of Lincoln inside the monument. If you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can even see a tiny image of Lincoln seated inside, a beautiful detail often overlooked. Many collectors love this coin not just for its rarity and value but for its history. It's a piece of American heritage that connects us to one of the nation's greatest presidents and the evolution of U.S. coinage. That's why when a rare 2001D penny in perfect condition appears on the market, it sparks intense bidding wars among collectors, investors, and museums. And those record-breaking prices reflect not only the coin's rarity, but also its symbolic value. The coin market today is stronger than ever. Rare coins continue to rise in value, with collectors worldwide seeking pieces that are unique, historical, and beautifully preserved. So even if you don't have a six-figure coin, it's worth checking your change carefully. You never know when a rare penny might appear in your hands. Look for signs of minting errors, pay attention to details, and consider holding on to any unusual coins you find. Many of the most valuable discoveries started as ordinary pocket change. Now, as we move toward the conclusion of this video, let's recap what makes the 2001D Lincoln penny so special. Welcome back to another exciting episode on rare and valuable coins that could change your life. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern-day discoveries in U.S. coin collecting history, the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. What makes this coin so special? How can an ordinary-looking penny from your pocket be worth as much as $72,983 in today's market? Get ready, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, what errors make these coins incredibly valuable, and how collectors are paying massive amounts for the rarest examples of this modern Lincoln cent. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln 1-cent coin, often called the Lincoln penny, has been a cornerstone of American currency since 1909. It was introduced to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Over the years, the design has evolved, but one thing remains consistent: the admiration collectors and Americans alike have for this little copper-colored coin. In 2014, the United States Mint continued the shield reverse design, which had been introduced in 2010 to symbolize Lincoln's preservation of the Union during the Civil War. The obverse of the coin features Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which has appeared on the penny for over a century. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Normally, coins struck in Philadelphia in 2014 carry no mint mark, which means the absence of a mint mark is typical. However, there are rare instances where certain 2014 Lincoln cents without a mint mark exhibit unique errors, varieties, and die anomalies that send their value skyrocketing. Collectors hunt for these special errors because they represent minting mistakes that shouldn't have happened, and rarity is the driving force behind a coin's value. One of the most notable features of the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny is its striking clarity and luster when found in pristine condition. Many of these coins were made from a composition of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, giving them that bright, red finish when freshly struck. However, due to their zinc core, these coins can corrode or tone over time, especially if not properly stored. So, finding a 2014 no mint mark penny in perfect mint state condition, especially graded MS67 or higher by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC, is already rare. But when you add mint errors or doubling, the price goes through the roof. Let's talk about some of the specific varieties and errors that can make a 2014 no mint mark penny worth thousands. One of the most desirable varieties is the doubled die obverse. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin was misaligned during its creation, causing slight doubling of details on Lincoln's image, the date, or the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." Even a subtle doubling that's visible under magnification can make a collector pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In rare cases, a full clear doubled die can increase the coin's value exponentially. Another valuable feature to look for on your 2014 penny is the presence of die cracks or die cuts. These occur when the die begins to break down from overuse. A die cut appears as a raised blob of metal, usually on the rim or near the lettering, and can drastically increase the value because it's a one-of-a-kind minting defect. Some of these errors are so visually striking that they immediately catch a collector's eye, making them highly sought after. There are also instances of off-center strikes, where the design of the coin is misaligned due to an error during the minting process. The further the design is off-center while still showing a complete date, the more valuable it becomes. A perfectly misaligned 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny could fetch thousands at auction depending on how severe the error is and how well it has been preserved. Now, let's discuss why a specific 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny was valued at an astonishing $72,983. This particular coin was discovered in near-perfect condition, graded as MS68 plus read by a top-tier grading company, and it exhibited a unique doubling on the date and the inscriptions around Lincoln's bust. Because of its flawless strike, vibrant color, and its extreme rarity in that condition, this penny captured the attention of collectors worldwide. During a major coin auction, fierce bidding drove the final sale price to an unbelievable $72,983, proving once again that even modern coins can carry enormous value if the right factors align. Collectors are especially drawn to coins like this because of how easily they can be overlooked in everyday circulation. Imagine finding a penny in your change jar or on the ground that could pay off a car or even a small house. That's what makes the hobby of coin collecting so thrilling. You never know what hidden treasure could be sitting right in front of you. If you're wondering how to check your own 2014 no mint mark Lincoln pennies for rare errors, here are a few key tips. First, always handle your coins carefully, preferably with cotton gloves, to avoid adding fingerprints or scratches. Examine the obverse and reverse under a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look closely at Lincoln's eye, his ear, and the date for signs of doubling. Check the rim for any extra metal that might indicate a die cut or crack. Flip the coin over and inspect the shield design for misalignment or extra metal lines, which might suggest a die clash or strike-through error. If you find something unusual, it's always a good idea to get it professionally graded. Services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, can authenticate your coin and assign it a grade, which is crucial in determining its true market value. Coins in high mint state grades with confirmed errors tend to attract the attention of serious collectors and can easily sell for thousands or more. In recent years, we've seen a growing trend in modern coin collecting, where people are realizing that even coins minted in the 2000s can be worth small fortunes. The 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a prime example of this trend. Unlike older coins, which are harder to find in circulation, newer coins are more accessible, yet the rare error examples remain just as elusive. As collectors hunt for high-grade specimens, the market value for these coins continues to rise, making it an exciting time for anyone with an interest in numismatics. It's also worth noting that not every 2014 penny without a mint mark will be valuable, but each one is worth checking. There are billions of these coins in circulation, but only a tiny fraction show the rare minting anomalies that drive up their worth. The key to finding treasure in pocket change is patience, knowledge, and a sharp eye for detail. For those new to coin collecting, it's important to store your valuable coins properly. Always use acid-free coin holders or capsules to protect them from moisture and air exposure. Keeping your coins in a cool, dry environment will help preserve their color and prevent zinc corrosion. Over time, the condition of a coin can drastically affect its resale value, sometimes even more than the rarity of the error itself. In addition to the monetary value, there's also a deep sense of history tied to every Lincoln cent. Each coin serves as a small piece of American heritage, reflecting the artistry, politics, and technological progress of its time. The 2014 penny may seem recent, but in just a few decades, today's coins will become vintage treasures. That's why savvy collectors are investing in modern rarities now, because they understand how value grows over time. Let's not forget that auctions and online marketplaces have become major platforms for buying and selling rare coins. Sites like Heritage Auctions, eBay, and Stack's Bowers regularly feature modern pennies that command impressive bids. The $72,983 2014 penny we discussed earlier made headlines, drawing attention from investors and collectors alike. Such sales prove that even coins minted within the last decade can be financial game changers when the right mix of rarity and condition is present. So, if you have a jar of pennies lying around, take a closer look. That ordinary 2014 penny might not be so ordinary after all. Check the date, inspect the details, and don't ignore any odd markings. Even small imperfections can mean the difference between 1 cent and tens of thousands of dollars. In summary, the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln 1 cent penny coin stands out as one of the most remarkable modern coins in circulation today. With a possible market value of up to $72,983, it's proof that treasures still exist in everyday change. Whether it's a doubled die, an off-center strike, or a perfect mint state grade, these coins continue to capture the imagination of collectors worldwide. The combination of rarity, history, and mystery makes the Lincoln penny one of the most beloved coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint.